Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to discuss one of the most popular words in Islamic discourse, Kuffar. This word is said to mean disbeliever or infidel. However, the true meaning of the word is different, and just like with the word tawheed, when a word is misused by Muslims, we know there is more to that story. So, let's delve into it. The original meaning of the word is coverer, or to give it the full contextual meaning, coverers of the truth. As we are reading the Quran with the Judeo-Nazarene thesis in mind, let's see what happens when we look at some verses that use that word. Note that it appears over 100 times in the book, so we will only discuss a few verses which show why this word was used, and against which group. Surah 2 verses 89 and 90 use that word for a group who received a book which confirmed what they had. That's the gospel confirming the Torah. It continues saying that this group recognized the book, meaning that they recognized the prophecies which were fulfilled by the Messiah, but they covered that truth. Notice how Saint Murad's literal translation looks very different to the standard translations. Surah 3 verse 32 commands listeners to obey God and the Messenger, meaning Jesus, and it demonizes again those who cover the truth. Let's discuss just one more verse, and end this exploration with a bang. The verse we are going to focus on is Surah 3 verse 55, but we'll start on 50 and see what the verses say up to verse 56. Notice that it begins with Jesus noticing people covering, whatever that means, and asked who was on his side. Some people confirm that they believed in him, but they immediately schemed against him. That sounds a lot like the Pharisees who called Jesus teacher, but then denied him and called for his crucifixion. Verse 55 is very interesting because in the Arabic it says that God said to Jesus, "I will cause you to die and raise you to myself." You can understand why that's always mistranslated, as it gives the game away. Following that, God says that he would make those who followed Jesus above those who covered. Verse 66 continues on that theme, promising those who covered a great torment. So, now we know who the coverers originally were. Those who denied the Messiah. In fact, that same message is reiterated and explained in more detail in multiple verses throughout the Quran. Like in Surah 2 verse 146. On this one, it says that some people were given the scripture, which in this verse means the Jews were given the Torah, and that they knew it as their own sons. Yet, some of them concealed the truth. That's a reference to those Jews who denied Jesus as the Messiah, even though he fulfilled the prophecies sent ahead of his arrival. Surah 3 verse 78 is another such verse, where the writer says that a party of those who were given the scripture, the Torah, they twisted it with their tongues, in an attempt to make Jesus not fulfill the prophecies. Those same people, according to the writers of the Quran, claim that other writings are from God, even though they know that was not the case, which would fit quite well with the Talmud in our previous video on the matter. Before we end this video, take a moment to reflect on the following. The Quran was written to attack those they called coverers of the truth, yet Islam evolved in such a way that their whole premise is to cover the truth from Muslims. The writers hated the Talmudic Jews for fabricating stories and giving them divine status, including making things lawful and unlawful, yet Islam created the largest corpus of fabricated stories ever seen, together with a law system which is entirely given the divine status. The writers of the Proto-Quran warned people from obeying their rabbis or monks blindly, and to learn the scripture firsthand, yet Islam developed in such a way that no Muslim has ever understood the meaning of the Quran, as it has been concealed by their imams and scholars. The original Kuffar were the Talmudic Jews. The modern-day coverers, however, are found exclusively in Islamic circles, called imams, scholars or apologists, and treated with much reverence. They have certainly taken their imams and scholars as lords, apart from God and the Messiah. Food for thought. See you soon.